evening and the business part of the conference, we will have a keynote speaker who will set the scene for this 3 days conference. I will be your conference chair for these 3 days. And in addition to introducing keynote speakers, moderators and facilitators, and trying to say also some intelligent things about coordinated border management, I will also keep you informed of logistical arrangements and dress codes for the dinner, for example, and when and where you should meet in order to congregate for the breaks or for the dinner or the lunch. We heard already this morning that coordinated border management is a very important issue. It has been chosen for this year's event as it is one of, as we see it in the customs community, but also as traders see it, one of the tools for trade efficiency, increased security and increased facilitation. And insofar, it is with great pleasure that we see so many different agencies, not only customs and so many trade stakeholders and other stakeholders, including our other international organization partners here with us, including Interpol and many others. Dubai Customs has kindly offered to host this year's event dedicated to coordinated border management. I'm sure that you are aware that Dubai, other than being a very fantastic location and a very cosmopolitan city in the United Arab Emirates, has also been the winner of the World Festival and Event Award over the past 2 years consecutively. This shows, and I don't think that we need confirmation for that, that Dubai is really a fantastic host. I think the morning session has already confirmed how nice hosts, how good hosts they are. And therefore, I would say that they are a very natural candidate for the World Expo 2020, and we wish them all the best luck with their bid. We will have plenty of time to discuss in the next few days. You will have seen that we have again introduced some new things like the knowledge commons in order to allow for better interaction and sharing of knowledge. We heard it already. I think Dubai is really a very innovative place. As we have seen that we have got tablets in order to exchange questions and answers, interact with each other on the spot electronically. So it's a very innovative solution for this event, courtesy by Dubai Customs and the Prince. I would also like to invite you to visit the exhibition and talk to the vendors, talk to the colleagues there, also talk to other attendees in order to increase the interaction, and I'm sure there's plenty to see and plenty to learn from each other. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce the first keynote speaker for today, who will lead us into the proper event. Mr. Philip Ammon, the chairman, CEO and owner of SIGPA. SIGPA is our corporate sponsor for this year's event. And only to give an example, we have signed an MOU in 2012 concerning their contribution to the WCO capacity building program. It shows their commitment and their interest, and like in previous years, they managed to bring in many participants from members in order to ensure that there's a more even level playing field in discussions and in interaction. Mr. Ammon, if I may ask you to come to the podium.
Thank you very much, Susan, and I'm very honored to address the esteemed assistants. Your Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, ruler of Dubai, Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates. Your Highness Lieutenant General Sheikh Saif bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Interior of the United Arab Emirates. Secretaries General, Director General, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Wassalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakat. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to speak to you today about the importance of technology and its specific application to enabling trust in global trade. My company has spent the last 80 years developing security inks for banknotes and high security solutions for governments. Over the last decade, we have focused on developing the best technology for authentication, tracking, and tracing. Both are very important means of securing trade. The specific technologies used for authentication and for tracking and tracing have similarities, but also important differences. Authentication is a key component of any system monitoring the movement of physical objects, but we also need reliable authentication for documents and electronic records. The revised Kyoto Convention, developed by the WCO, allows documents and other information to be submitted to the authorities in electronic format, but it does not make reference to authentication. Fortunately, the World Customs Organization has developed a recommendation on digitalization of supporting documents. The WCO has also actively contributed to the UN CFACT project, reviewing the UN recommendation on authentication other than by physical signature, and this ensuring it reflects the latest development. As far as monitoring, tracking, and tracing is concerned, the WCO has set guidelines for the management of the integrated supply chain, which have proved extremely useful during the development of the SAFE framework and standards to secure and facilitate global trade. This unique international instrument ushered in a safer world trade regime and also heralded the beginning of a new approach to the end-to-end management of goods moving across borders, while recognizing the significance of a closer partnership between customs and business. The SAFE framework creates, amongst other things, the condition for securing international trade, as well as facilitating to promote it. Authorized economic operators reap benefits such as faster processing of goods by customs, for example, through the reduced examination rates and many others. This in turn translates into saving in time and cost. One of the main impacts of the SAFE framework is to create a single set of international standards and thus establish uniformity and predictability. Through its IT subcommittee, the World Customs Organization highlighted the visibility of the supply chain, and this issue remains important even if there is not yet a specific legal instrument to monitor it. The framework remains the standard set by UNCTRAL. I have learned by personal experience that technology opens up new and unimagined possibilities. And I could also quote Professor Salman, University of Princeton, who wrote that trust opens up unimagined possibilities. Can we combine the two thoughts? I think so. Can technology help create trust? And supposing it can, is this helpful to customs? Department as well as to all control authorities around the world? I think it is. International organizations, and specifically the World Customs Organization, have evolved in line with technological advances so as to better fulfill their mission. Continuing to make the most of the latest technologies is crucial if they are to be successful in securing the international system, connecting the dots, separating the licit trade from the illicit trade, enhancing the collection of import duties and tax, and preventing counterfeit products from entering into member states, which has the double impact of protecting public health together with the brand protection. The mission of customs is threefold: border control and combating counterfeiting and piracy, facilitating global trade, collecting excise and custom taxes. But those three missions are not always aligned. On the contrary, they may even be opposed. Controls at borders slow down trade. The key to resolving this contradiction is trust. A more solid trust relationship would enable faster and smoother global trade. And technology today can definitely help create trust. So technology is absolutely key to achieving your triple mission. Much has already been done, and I would like to pay tribute to the tremendous work undertaken to enable the deployment of ad hoc technologies. I would like to congratulate those who have been visionary and have worked hard to put a framework in place for economic operators to trade globally in a seamless and efficient way. But there are great opportunities we must now exploit. First of all, standardization of trade processes and practices. On the side of industry, the various stakeholders have made huge progress in defining best practices and harmonizing the exchange of data and information in order to streamline and reduce cost. GS1 has played a crucial role. The industrial standards that they established and are now used by thousands of companies in more than 100 countries in the world made the exchange possible in a structured way. Technology is everywhere, but is everything under control? Has technology eliminated fraud and illicit trafficking? Sadly not. Counterfeiting and piracy have never been so pervasive. Why is this? There are defined standards, agreed communication protocol, there are processes in place. Does this mean that you have secure business? No. Unfortunately, definitely the answer is not. Installing a pipeline to simplify and speed up the transportation of water from well to a village is a great solution. But if the water gets polluted, you get fast delivery of polluted water to the village. In this example, as in so many situations in real life, innovation and problem resolution processes often do not consider security. Only the immediate objective counts. It's only when things go wrong that the investment to eliminate the problem are considered, and this to recreate trust. We can apply the same principle to the globalization of trade. So far, the priority has been focusing on enabling global trade, but we need to focus on the risk and invest in technologies to ensure we don't just enable trade, but make it secure. What do we need to do for that? We could visualize secure trade as a stable stool which has to have at least 3 legs. The first leg of any transaction is the most classic, document management. A set of documents has to be produced and submitted. Today, this is mostly done electronically. Alone, this offers opportunities to criminal organizations to commit fraud more easily than before. This is why 2 other levels of technology are necessary. The second leg is material-based protection. Whatever the sophistication of the processes, when dealing with merchandise, you must be able to authenticate the goods, marking the product itself at the moment it gets produced with a solid material-based production like a secure, non-removable stamp, for instance, is a good way to protect it, but there are others. The third leg consists of a digital control or track and trace system. With today's technologies, any product can be tracked from the start of its life as raw material through transformation, distribution, and the consumption. In the case of problem, the digital protection enables tracing back through the whole supply chain in order to identify who is responsible for what. Tracking and tracing replaces neither physical protection of the product nor good document management, but it adds a new security layer. The strength of the protection comes from the combination of the three pillars and the integration: document management, material-based protection, and a digital track and trace. But even this may not be enough. Criminal organizations are extremely proactive and creative. The protection you choose should be the most difficult to copy and imitate. It should not be available off the shelf. If it's available to the public market, organized criminals will find a way copying and thus not lose its protected value. Through material-based protection is not easy to achieve and is the result of high level of continuous innovation, research, and development. Only a few companies in the world are able to delivering such sophisticated system, integrate them, and monitor them. The means of application is also a key success factor. Any security feature, whatever its strengths, must be accompanied with the right application technology. Put simply, building trust with technology required that you trust your technology partner. Another very important principle is the separation of roles between controllee and controller. This was imposed on the finance world after recent scandals. Separation of roles is a key principle when working on a trust relationship in manufacturing and trade. This basic principle is increasingly implemented in the international public law building process and prohibits controllees from becoming controllers of the supply chain in lieu of governments. Is this the full picture? Not quite. The principles I have set out are fundamental. If we apply them well, we will make a big step forward in the fight against illicit trade and piracy. But such crimes are like water and will flow through the easiest channel, or like electricity which takes the path of least resistance. As a customs department, you may be successful on your own territory, but often the problem will simply move to a neighboring country. It will not be eradicated, and it will come back to bite you as soon as you relax your vigilance. This is why, in the long run, winning the battle against counterfeiting and piracy needs a change of mindset and a battery of new concepts and technologies. Better interoperability between systems is essential. Within the EU Schengen area, there are no longer checkpoints on border between member states, but there are enforcement staff that talk to each other and exchange information about transportation of goods, payment of taxes, and electronic documents. This networking process has to develop. International organizations like the WCO need to do even more to stimulate and support exchange between enforcement bodies around the world. The Customs Enforcement Network for exchange of information between member states, customs administration, is an example of a new tool to achieve this goal. The Interface Public Members, IPM, solution is another good example, this time to foster cooperation between control authorities and intellectual property right holder from the private sector with a view to facilitate the exchange of information and to strengthen the capacity of customs to detect counterfeit goods. Once you have a good network and information exchange, business intelligence tools become extremely powerful. With risk patterns and profiles, you can focus your action much more precisely. The enforcement agent will be able to concentrate their efforts solely on the high-risk area instead of random searches. It is a fact that global trade is confronted with the phenomena of illicit trade, counterfeiting, and piracy, who go beyond the responsibility of any single government. This is why global trade should be secured in a global way. The technological solutions aiming at these objectives are currently developing fast, and some are already being implemented. They contribute to bridging the gap between states by connecting at borders. They also allow states to monitor the flow of goods all along the international supply chain so as to meet their international and domestic obligations. To bridge the gap, governments need a platform which provides an independent system fully under government control and which can be adapted to specific national requirements to cover multiple products. Enabling trust, providing the means for secure global trade is a goal that the WCO and everybody in this room has understood and is ready to address. It is also the mission of my company, which provides high-security inks and other features to protect banknotes across the globe. SIGPA is a unique solution provider of security solution to governments only, already protecting annually more than 70 billion products subject to excise taxes. We stand ready to work together in a collaborative way, and I wish that this conference will be productive and full of innovation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Amo. I was happy to see so many of our instruments being mentioned, so many of the instruments that are being implemented by members being put on the slides and being put in context, in particular in the context or against the background of coordinated border management and increased security and increased facilitation, which is of course our objective. I would like to mention now that the lunch that will be served at 1 o'clock is also offered by SIGPA, thanks to Mr. Amon and his team. After lunch, I would like to ask you, because there is no protocol like in the VIP session anymore, please move up. You can also sit in the first 4 rows. Come closer. Don't be shy. We have enough space. Maybe before we go to lunch, some organizational arrangements. There will be buses for those staying in the Medinat. There will be buses before the conference and after the conference, and also before the dinner and after the dinner, not during the day. So if you have to make your way back to the hotel during the day, you will have to arrange your own transport. But prior to the meeting and after the meeting, there is transport, and also for the lunches, for the dinners. All those that have not already filled in the cards that you find in your badge that indicate whether or not you want to attend the dinners or the Dubai tour on Thursday, please do so and leave them at the registration desks. This is important in order to plan how many people will attend. With that, I would like to say that it is a big pleasure for us to have you all here. It's really a very big event, and we are looking forward to very intensive, proactive discussions, and maybe if we can thank SIGPA by a round of applause for the lunch. And I see you all back after the lunch, where we will continue with the business part of the conference.